look at indoor play activities as well as outdoor play activities, we must ask ourselves, why do we have to have it? Is there anything that we can count and say we are benefiting with this from whatever we are getting from these children in terms of their play? One thing I must appreciate, that parents, and a lot of them, have a lot of will to buy the toys, to buy the play materials, and even some of these, there is a lot of advice that should come with them. But basically what we are saying, there is much more than meets the eye. And that's why I am willing to discuss the role of this thing we are calling play to the growth and development. And in this case, growth and development of every one of us. I may be so much focused on these children, but as we work together, you realize, oh yes, I am part and I'm a product of this. That's why, if you look at a child playing, there are various attributes that will come in. There are various benefits that we shall count. There are various dimensions of the development we are going to realize from this child. And by the end of the day, we are going to proudly say we have come up with a holistic child. In fact, as a teacher, you as a teacher trainee, your key evaluation of yourself is whether, am I developing this child holistically? Holistically meaning what? All the domains of this child, cognitive domain, physical domain, emotional domain, spiritual domain, mental domain, emotional domain, aesthetic domain, moral domain, all of them including social, language, and all that. Would you say every play activity these children are getting exposed to is coming in contributing to every one of these 8 dimensions, 8 domains, 8 aspects of the whole person? And that's why we are using the word holistic. The minute you evaluate and you realize the answer is yes, you are now getting it. The minute you evaluate and you realize one or two things are missing, that's why you are going to feel encouraged to allow a lot of variety of these play activities so that we may have all these ingredients coming in the making of this miniature person. Look at physically. When this child is playing, throwing, kicking, dodging, dribbling, number one, I discussed earlier about the large and small muscles development. When they are running, when they are kicking, when they are the issue is there is kind of stretching of these large muscles. The way they are exercising these large muscles, the way they are flexing, they are elongating. When they are elongating, then the child is increasing in size. And that's how you realize this child has really grown. Should I say, when this child plays and they get tired, the minute they just get seated, they just feel sleepy? Should I say when they sleep, the body cells multiply? Then the multiplication of these body cells will now kind of contribute to the growth and enlargement of the body. And again, that's why we are saying, hey, this child has grown. And that's why we shall always say children have right of play, leisure, and recreation. All these comes at where now the kid has to rest, and they have even to sleep, and they kind of replenish their energy. Oh, so much about that. It enhances eye-hand coordination. I want to throw this ball to you, my viewer. Get set. After that, I'll throw this mark pen to you. And I want to see how accurate you will be to catch the ball and to catch the mark pen. And I want you 10 meters away and more. Are you certain if you'll catch the ball, you'll catch the pen? I don't need to judge whether you'll get it accurately or wrongly. I don't know. But your eye-hand coordination is what will judge best. When I throw to you and you just grab it, it will be a cooperation of the sight that now the seeing, you are seeing the ball, the coordination to the brain, that is the communication. There is a ball coming. It is coming over my head. I am to stretch now. The brain is to tell now again the muscles, stretch out your hand and reach out to the ball. Am I becoming technical? Things we have always done, and it's the high time we appreciate that. That's why our children are the way they are, and we are the way we are. Look at it. It provides a feeling of body control. How much can I jump? How much can I somersault? By the way, how much can I run? Meaning, every play activity I do at will. It is a deliberate effort that I kind of foster so that I may effect it. Meaning, when I'm saying body control, it's all about me. It's all about that child. It's all about that colleague. Body control. But I should kind of point out to the preschool teachers, you must realize the minute you have a group of them and you say, on your mark, get set, we are running up to that goal post, then we come back. You must have realized before they kind of got 10, 20 meters, if they were 30 children, about 6 or 10, they are down. But it is not that their colleagues trapped them. They have knock-kneeing. Their bodies are not very well streamlined. Just as you can see, their body contours are still, they are still babyish. The higher they come, the more they grow. The body streamlines. But the body streamlines with more play and play. Their body takes a good shape. Meaning, at class 1, class 2, you are sure you tell them to run, none may fall. I'm reminding you, the minute they are falling even before the 20th meter, none may have trapped them. None may have stumbled them. No one has stumbled them. They are just on their own. They are just on their track. They are just on their lane, but they are falling because their knees are not so streamlined that they are kind of supposed to do what they should do the running with ease and efficiency. Physical. Body circulation. Must I discuss this? You can, whatever it is that they are doing. If we look at the hill place down there, the doctors in the house will tell you that could be like a second heart in terms of circulating the blood. The more active they are, the more the pumping of the blood is getting efficient. The more active they are, other doctors will tell us we are clearing the veins of the cholesterol and all that, meaning the blockage in the veins will kind of be done away with. Meaning, the more they are active, the more the lungs are bulging, the more air they are containing. Some of you would tell us about the tidal volume and all that. I don't want all those terminologies. I just want to be as simple as this child is. How should he play? And from there is a lot of efficiency in terms of blood circulation. Oxygen to the brain is just okay, meaning the whole functioning of the body is just okay. The wellness of that child is my optimal happiness. Look at the elimination of the body wastes. When they are sweating, at least they are shedding off some body wastes. It is part of excretion. When the salts are, and whatever it is coming out, this child is being left in her and for his wellness. So as a teacher, as I'm making this child active, I am telling them, can you wash your body? So from within, whatever comes out will come out. When they get to the bathroom, that is even external. And you are sure, even most of the maladies will always come from within. By maladies, I mean diseases. By diseases, I am addressing people like the preschool teachers. When you talk of the rate of morbidity, you are talking of the prevalence of these children acquiring diseases. Meaning, the more active your children would become, the lower the morbidity will be. Lastly, preschool teachers, lower primary school teachers, and upper primary school teachers. Today, the doctors are talking of 22% of our children are in obesity. What would that imply? We are expecting them, or in fact, we are experiencing, not even expecting, we are experiencing some of them with diabetes, some of them with high blood pressure, some of them with chronic heart diseases. Meaning what? Lifestyle diseases. Meaning, as they are kind of pegging the adult obesity to be at 44%, we have our share for our children, 22%. Hi, teachers, it is on our side. It is. And we can eliminate it with a lot of ease. If only we have the will and we express the will to expose these children into play activities. Full stop. At the same time, they learn new skills. Heading the ball. Volleying the ball. Receiving the ball. The way I'm receiving. And more often than not, you must realize some of these careers that our children are enjoying today, they are things that just got them without the awareness. They just realize, I love football. They just realize, I love singing. They just realize, I love dancing. I just realize. And by the end of the day, this becomes a very lucrative career, and they live very decent livelihoods. Play will always promote their cognitive development. Cognitive has to do with intelligence. Intelligence is the ability of learning. At number one, this very play I'm exposing these children to will always start with developing the language, because to master what they are doing, it is the language that comes in as a tool. If I were to ask you, what is this? You would tell me, this is a CD. Okay, CD, you bear me witness, some of us have just seen these gadgets the other day. Remember, to them, everything is a play item, including those which should not be the play items according to us. Look at this language. We are not limiting our language to vernacular, to Kiswahili, to English, or to anything. Remember our goal number 6 of education in Kenya. That it is the work of us teachers to promote the diversity of our cultures in Kenya. Meaning, I should promote everything that has to do with any culture. Number 1, language. 2, dressings. 3, housings. 4, food. Okay, I may not be so much concerned with the rest of the aspects of the culture, but look at the language. It comes in fact, as the very first attribute and the most instrumental, I would say so, that if I would hear you speaking in Kikuyu, I am teacher Kamaubi, I'll very first identify with you. Oh, you can speak some Kikuyu. Kwani wewe ni nani? Am I tribal? I don't know. I want us to look at it as teachers. That the minute I have identified myself with the Kikuyu language, now I'm demonic. No, this should not be the case to our children. They should love everything about everyone's culture. And in this case, in our classes, you realize language will do all the more. I've just cited that my culture is from Central Province. I want to look at this teacher, whom I'll use as my resource teacher, and will come and teach my children a singing game, maybe in a language like what? Like Maasai. Osam puri puri, igi iko. So long as I am certain of the words, their meanings and their implication, then I should be very proud to have my children getting introduced to a language that is not theirs. Okay, I'm not to be so much on that point. I was just passing by there because it is a full goal of education. Number 6. For every academic line system from preschool through university, promoting the diverse cultural orientations in our land. KENYE. Imagination and creativity is an attribute of the brain or intelligence that is promoted by play. To imagine is to innovate. They become innovative, they become creative, and by the end of the day, what we kind of get from their imagination and creativity, it is how to solve their problems. The essence of whatever we are doing, we are just looking at how can we solve this problem. Even you teachers in class, if you can use this ball creatively to solve a problem, then this is the best that you can do. If you can use a string here and you are teaching diameter, then this very issue of being practical, when it kind of gets inclined to play, this lesson is going to be so meaningful and very practical. Your interest is, will these children from today be kind of finding the diameter of any circle with a lot of ease? Look at when problem solving skills now comes here as a broad aspect. You can imagine that whatever it is that you are calling life, it is a lesson by itself. Even as teachers, we shall never teach everything. Even as parents, we shall never teach everything. Even as mentors, we shall never teach everything. Even as whoever we are, we shall never teach everything. It comes a time a kid gets to their world, the world of play, and from there, they maneuver how things should work, and they come out independent. Even when they go out to play there with their kids, their peers who are the kids, as they come even crying, they may come crying for 2 days. In the 3rd day, they will cry there and they will stop there. In the 4th day, they will not even cry there. What happens? They have learned problem-solving skills. And because it is in what they love, they kind of conform to fit there. And by the end of the day, play comes molding a whole human being called this person, the child. Look at the perception skill. Perception is the interpretation of the brain of what it can see. Look at this child. When they look at me, whom can they see? Of course not a nurse, I thank God, because I'm not in white. But would I be in a white? Even if I was a butcher, they would still identify me with somebody who just injected them. Well and good, that's just an example. But the point here is, even if they would kind of dramatize or do a skit about a doctor, and as a teacher you come kind of molding how a doctor is good because of the way we sang a song and we realize this doctor comes in kind of helping us even not to die, you are going to change the perception of that kid, the interpretation of that kid as to who is the nurse. In the basket, in the basket, in the basket. I wish I had a basket. Right now, in the basket, in the basket, in the basket, right now. Take an orange, take an orange, take an orange right now. Take an orange, take an orange. Come and take an orange. Take an orange right now. Eat the orange, eat the orange, eat the orange right now. Eat the orange, eat the orange, eat the orange right now. Stomach aching, stomach aching, stomach aching right now. I want you to see, from something very sweet, a problem has come up. Let us see how it is going to be sorted out. Because we are looking at a point where the nurse is going to come in as a very important person. Call the doctor, call the doctor, call the doctor right now. Call the doctor, call the doctor, call the doctor right now. Operation, operation, operation right now. Operation, operation, operation right now. Feeling better, feeling better, feeling better right now. Feeling better, feeling better, feeling better right now. Bye-bye, doctor. I want you to see this bye-bye of somebody who is very happy that they were dying. A doctor has come in, has sorted out the problem, and now they are not dying. This perception must change. Of a doctor being a person who has always to inflict pain. So, in play, look at my play here. It has changed the thinking and the perception of these children. Let them get into plays. Yeah, I would say we monitor their plays, so that we may point out where we should streamline, so that they may get the right knowledge, so that they may acquire the right values, so that they may acquire the right attitude. And from there, we have the education. Look at the abstract thinking. Abstract thinking is the next step from concrete thinking. Concrete is something tangible. When we say 1 plus 1, they can see and they can count 1, 2. But when I say 1 plus 1, now there's nothing that I'm showing. But because I have kind of accustomed them to practical things, and they have formed in their minds, now I'm coming now abstract. 1 plus 1. It is just forming in the mind, imaginatively, and they can just visualize it, and they can just give the answer outrightly. What would that mean? That's why you will say, Mary very early made John some unusual nice porridge. And this is a teacher in class 7, kind of teaching children the solar system, and now they have formed a system of how to remember the way those planets are arranged. Mars, Venus, Earth. I don't want to go to Pluto because it is no longer a planet, I'm told. Kindly confirm. Abstract thinking, that's my word. So whatever thing you are saying, Mary, very early, those things that you're helping them to memorize, you will call them mnemonics. Why mnemonics? You want to kind of bring a clear abstract thinking and reasoning, because now you don't want to be concrete. You want to promote them to some way they can think without visual or practical or whatever you can call concrete materials. When they are in play, they develop negotiation skills. You have done this to me. I am sorry. Okay, then. Let us do this. Okay, yes, but this one would be better. Okay. But if you look at the initial stages, when anyone will be against what they are saying, it is kaput. But the much they come, they realize, yesterday we agreed on what I proposed. Today I'm going to agree on what Hassan has proposed. Tomorrow we shall agree on what Akenyi will have proposed. And this is where we come getting a tolerant community. Do you really want to tell us we have a lot of tolerant community today? Another aspect that is really promoted by play is social development. Number one, the various aspects of social development. The much you can tell that this kid is socially well developed now. By that teacher called Teacher Kamaubi. By me called the parent. By the social worker who is with them. By this house help who is in my house. Number one, how do they relate with the people? That is interaction. Point two, how do they work together with the rest? That is cooperation. Point out at the same point, how much are they kind of keen after they talk, they get the next person talk, that is taking turns. And when their time to come, they talk. When their time to talk comes, they talk. When their time to talk maybe for them comes, they kind of keep quiet. The issue is, how do they kind of vary? Are they people who will keep quiet when you expect them to talk? Are they people who will talk when you expect them to keep quiet? Sharing is a big deal. We shall always share if we are in good terms. But in this community of the class, everything is not a bed of roses, just like any other outside there. How shall we have this kid tolerating the rest and coping even if there is stress? I'm telling you, play, because it is something they love, it will always come offering opportunities for these things to be fostered every other time, whether the child wills or not. And that's what they are saying. Include me in your game. They say, no, you did not include me in yours yesterday. So tomorrow, even if he is not included today, he will make sure he includes them, not because they are willing, but because tomorrow they don't want again to be rejected in their group. Meaning, they were never included, but they will include because of the day after. Hey, look at the leadership ability. You look at them as they are playing. They have a kind of dynamics where they come up with who to guide them. They may not vote. They may not lobby. By the way, they even appoint. Even when they are saying Chambaba na Chamama, they always know who to be the father. They may look at the stature, who is to be the mother. They look at a girl's stature. Are these children thinking? Yeah, why is it a social development? Because social is all about mixing with other individuals. But mark me, teacher, mark me, you parent. Social development hasn't to do always with the interpersonal relationship. There is a lot in intrapersonal relationship. Well, I will leave that to my psychology colleague, but there is a lot that meets the eye in the social development. That self-hate they develop, it is intrapersonal conflict. Meaning, they may not be in good relationship with their own selves, as you may think, in as much as we are looking at how much they're interacting well with other people. Look at the social moral values. Social is what is acceptable. Moral is what is good and what is bad. Meaning what? that exposure is so rich in the play area, in the play arena, more than it is in my formal classroom setting. It is not good to do this. It is good to do this. It is not good to do this. It is good to do this. But, okay, Mwalimu, you bear me witness. Look at that way we have been clogging our children in the classes with this formal pumping. And we have always said that however we deliver our curriculum, it is through formal, non-formal, and informal means. That even the issue of play is becoming very rare in our schools. There is no time. Remember, play is work for children. Okay then, I am not fighting the administration. Let us agree. We are the people who are trained. Then, in that teaching, as formal as it is, let us make it play. When we make it play, teaching will become fun. Learning will become fun. And even the outcomes, you're going to realize you love it. And again, I repeat, I love being a teacher. I love it. I desired to be a teacher in class 5. I know it is not usual. But loving what you do is happiness. Doing what you love is freedom. What is better? To me, it's happiness. They learn from each other. According to Vygotsky, a lot of social learning is what stands out in every output as we live in the society. If anything, even as I'm training here, you are learning from me. But it is so key to note that when children are learning from the children, they understand again, they may understand better. And I would say that more often than not, they understand it better. Why? There's no anxiety. There's no fear. There's no, they are just at ease. And when they are learning at ease, they are learning at will. When they are learning at will, I wish you would let children to be with children. And when they would become adults, they will become responsible adults. Not that I don't have the aspect here of responsibility. Responsibility here, it is very different from the leadership ability. Responsibility here is that as we are playing with my colleagues, I must be friendly to them so that they may not hate me. I must be having good conduct, if maybe some of them will spank me. They know how they should behave. So this responsibility is even more intricate because somebody knows if I do this, these are the consequences. If I do this, these are the consequences. And when this is in the play context, it just comes out dictatively. Remember the personal relationship. Even as they are playing, one will still say, did I play in the right way? Am I esteemed as the others as competent, or am I seen as incompetent? By the way, that's why you may realize a kid who can tell you 2 times 2, because a song was sung and that mathematical concept just kind of popped up in that very aspect, they can even tell more than 2 times 2. Let's go. Small circle, big circle. Say mama, say papa, how are you? 6 by 6, 6 by 6, 36. 6 by 6, 6 by 6, teddy bear. Were you with us? Somebody is wondering how that a 6 has come. Okay, let's repeat. Let's go together. Small circle, Small circle, big circle. Say mama, say papa, how are you? 6 by 6, 6 by 6, that is 6. 6 by 6, 6 by 6, teddy bear. It may not have come to you in the very right way because I was offside. But this kid is so keen to learn how this is being done, of which it is coming up in so many other concepts, languages, mathematics, and all that. Coming up to some higher concepts, remember this kid could not say 2 times 2 is 4. But here he is saying 6 times 6 is 36. And this may prompt this kid to go and master all the multiplication table. I wish there was a lot of time, but again, when you make learning play, play becomes fun. We shall sing once more, but again, let us first see. Exploratory and discovery skills. Oh, kumbe there is a small circle and a small circle and a big circle. Teacher, you are not very accurate. This is not a circle, this is an oval. As a teacher, how should I say it? Ah, good, Lynette. So you can know this is an oval. Okay, next time I will do it as a circle. Meaning what? If you are a confident teacher, anything that comes as a challenge in that class, in fact, it is for your upbuilding. It means that kid is thinking. They have discovered circle is like chapati, oval is like an egg. Meaning, is that kid learning? Let us be children so that we may get along with the children. And that's why I appreciate those parents who have always told us we are childish. Walimu ni kama watoto. Yes, there's no one time you can get along so well with the children if you are not childish. Anyway, emotional development is an aspect or domain that is developed by play. Number one, when children are playing, it comes to them as treatment. That's what I mean by therapy. It is therapeutic. 2, they empathize. That is, children get into their colleagues' shoes. We were playing. All of a sudden, the ball came hitting the nose, and I bled. To observe my children and kind of gauge their level of emotional development, I should watch how they are kind of getting into the shoes of that child who is bleeding, in fact, nose bleeding. I just watch at how they are reacting. That one will tell me they are feeling it for their colleague. When we are saying of coping with the failure and success, we are saying when they are in play, they may do 2 things. 1, sports. 2, games. A game is a play that involves set rules. A sport is a game involving set rules, but again, we want to determine who are winners and who are losers. When you label the loser group as failures, as a teacher, you lose it all. And that's why when you kind of appreciate them, you first appreciate the failing group, and I quote that failing. And this kind of winning group are the people who will appreciate this failing group. Meaning, you have also managed their success. If you make them look as if they are superior, and that's why we teach our children to be assertive, not to be aggressive, not to be submissive, to be there, to say today I'm a success, tomorrow we may be the losing group. If we laugh at them today, tomorrow, they'll crack their ribs. We have failed today, tomorrow, by the way, we have noticed where you have gone wrong. Look at persevering struggle. Teachers, at whatever level we are handling children, including high school, the level of endurance, either in a specific activity, that is physical endurance. There are some children, you may tell them to stand for 2 hours. They cannot manage it. Well, in as much as we are not in a military camp in school, every level of endurance should be fostered. And that's what I'm saying, physical endurance, emotional endurance, cognitive endurance, social endurance, every form of endurance. The word is persevere. The more they can persist, the more they can sustain themselves longer on a certain activity. It is very key. Because this is what is creating a character in them, and a character of endurance. Even the Bible talks of long suffering as a fruit of the Holy Spirit. What does the Quran say? I wish I would get to know from him. Language development. Can this child explain something in a language that is creating the picture of what is intended to be communicated? When a child is explaining, it is the understanding that they are transferring. So if they have a wrong understanding, they explain it wrongly. So there's the use of words. They can use even a picture. They can use a gesture. They can use nonverbal language. But on the second aspect, describing, this is purely where the child is drawing the picture he wants to communicate through words only. Parents, you bear me witness that you are the people who really know us more than we know you. I'm speaking as a teacher, not as a lecturer this day. You are given a description, you are given a picture, let me say picture because I'm describing the word description. You are given a picture of teacher Kamau B, and there's a time, when you come to meet me, there's a time you'll know whether your kid is well, linguistically, or there's a deficit. Teacher Kamau B is a tall guy, a huge guy. This guy, somebody is just giving a picture. I've just given an example of a physical feature or physical features. What about other attributes about myself? Meaning, as a teacher, I should also be very keen and very observant on what picture I send to these children, how I should be described to those people who don't know me. Expression of ideas. An idea is a thinking in this child. How do they bring it out? Is it a meaningful idea? It may be a very good idea. Let me come to this other level. The language used, is it fitting? Somebody can tell you something and you say, yeah, I have heard you have a very good idea, but the language you have used, no. If I do it, I will feel it's like I'm becoming submissive to you. And you have used the most wrong language. So, even when I talk of pragmatics, the social application of language is very key here. Teachers, the way we groom our children to be speaking. At the home's cultures may be different. But the culture you have formed in this very class, in this very school, should take a lot of keenness on how, especially expressive language, is molded. Look at the expression of feelings. When they are so angry, how do they express themselves? Is there a better way of expressing themselves when they are in so much pain? emotionally than how maybe they may be expressing. We may not have a school for that, but our key challenge as teachers here, you bear me witness, is that if we are bad models, our children come suffering. Parents, if we are bad models on how we speak and how we express our feelings, our children suffer. Our administrators, our politicians, our more knowledgeable others. I won't go beyond there. Anyway, look at the asking of the questions. How do these children ask questions? What form of them do they ask? Do they really express what they are thinking? I have given an example before that when this child is asking this very teacher or this very parent, when they are seeing a bus and a Nissan, Father, is that Nissan a child to that very bus? Was it born by that bus? Is that child thinking? So when you realize the language level of that kid, you are able at least now to kind of usher them to some higher level of abstract thinking, abstract reasoning, and logical flowing of this idea that he had, and give it at least a concrete form of standing that if it is a non-living thing, the way it is done, the way it is molded, the way it is constructed, it comes out that way and it will live that way. Not that after 10 years, this Nissan will be at the size of that bus. So, I want to come to the play environment, which is very key. How much space do we offer for these children to do their play? This is so much dictated to by so many things, because I know space is a very rare commodity, especially to some setting. But I thank God our unit is indoor and outdoor play activities. Meaning, there is utterly no excuse as to why you should say that I cannot expose my children to play because there is no space. So determine the space that will be okay for indoor play activities. Determine that which will be okay for outdoor activities. And that's why I appreciate what most of you do. Those of you who don't have enough space of the field and all that, you even set apart a day during the week when we shall go to a field meeting, an open field somewhere, whether rented or what, but an open field where we can really identify our children's prowess. Play opportunity. Do we offer enough? From here, we must have at least have understood that how we took the opportunities we should give for play may not be exhaustive. Today we have seen that play is every time, everywhere for these children. So ours is now to be keen on the activities that are being done. We give the free will, we guide, and when fulfillment gets to this child, then there will be no deficit in this very child. Remember, we shall still see some deficits that we incur from these children when we deprive them of the play. So, when we are talking of giving them play materials, what are these materials that are prescribed for play? Remember, every object is a play material. And that's why I said, most of the objects you are using in that class, let them be familiar. If I give these children this felt pen, because it's not familiar to them, they'll kind of start doing some other dismantling. They want to see what is this that is writing in a very bold or whatever thing, more than the biro. How different is it? What is inside? On and on and on and on and on. You realize, even the equipment you are having, they are getting finished and depleted every day. And by the end of the day, you are just dry and you have nothing to do and to use. Companionship is a very key component of play environment. I like the code of regulation for teachers, that where the child is, that is where the teacher should be. I will repeat. We should not be having places for teachers and places for children. I'm here in the staff room and children are playing there in the field. What I'm just waiting for are reports. Teacher, James and Megonga Esther. We should be where they are. Yes, as hard as I may sound, where the child is, the teacher should be. Or as somebody who is elder, somebody who can come in and assist in the time of need and solve a problem where it calls for that. So when I talk of encouragement, this is the same person who is accompanying these children, who will be showing these children the approval of whatever they are doing, and when children learn that whatever they are doing is being approved, they get more encouraged and encouraged. What are these categories of materials for play activities? Just two of them, mobile materials and the fixed materials. Somebody would want me to say mobile or portable, then fixed or permanent. Yes, there we are. And there's no one place. If I'm talking to a teacher is a scavenger. I know when you looked at the fixed materials, especially the fixed materials within portable, do you see portable materials are just like the balls I'm having here? The bean bags, the hula hoops, the whatever. With the fixed materials, I understand there is an issue. The climbing frames, the seesaws, the bouncing castles, whatever it is. Well, we need this for the child's development and, in fact, optimal child development. But how much can you improvise? At the back of your mind, if you bear in mind that portable resources are there, that as much as they are to promote the gross motor development, they also promote a lot of fine motor development. The fixed materials are more for gross motor development. When you know at the back of your mind what you should develop in this child, then the whole problem becomes solved. I like the fact that even your school van or your school bus is a kind of a fixed resource. The way they are climbing it, the way they are coming down, you are sure this is a skill that is promoting a lot of agility in this child, and by the end of the day, what you just needed, you acquire it. And that's why I'm saying, where the child is, let there be a teacher. That's why even I appreciate that even as the bus leaves to go collecting children, the teacher is there. Yes, you make sure the way they are coming up, the way they are going up, it is in an orderly manner. Then there's a high time you appreciate that you have even been doing whatever you are discussing in arenas you have not been imagining. Well, what are these resources? Where do you get them from? I have no problem from wherever you get them. If you get them in terms of donations, well and good. I just require materials for these children. Borrowing? Borrow. Purchasing? Purchase. Improvising them? Improvising, I mean, if this one is meant for this, but I just decide to use it again for this, that is improvisation. If it is developing, I mean, in as much as this was purchased, that is, was bought, I can still do mine by the papers I have around. even this one, after I'm done with, it may become a raw material to make that ball. Collecting from the compound, by the way, they are even better. I don't know whether you are the sole source of the learning materials in your class as a teacher, but I believe this should be a collective responsibility. Don't be a do-it-all. Don't be a know-it-all. Bring others on board. And when we own everything up, we shall come up with a teamwork. Team. Together, everyone achieves more. I didn't mean to go that way. But what I'm saying is, when we deprive our children time to play, number one, they will not develop holistically. As I earlier explained, the 8 domains of the child's development. They will have poor imagination and creativity because children learn by doing, according to Albert Bandura. They will become dull, nervous, irritable, and intolerant, and they will never have positive self-concept. Kutojipenda, kutojiamini. So their self-efficacy will always suffer. I can't make it, I can't manage it, I am not able. They will become idle and lazy. And what will suffer most, it is how they will come in being not able to get into the shoes of somebody who is suffering. There is a lot of suffering in life. Remember, play is their life. So the more they laugh in that play arena, it is their mini world. So whatever they learn from there, they transfer it to the whole world, that is the empirical world, and they come out very holistically. And I would say very. So, as a teacher, just be there. I am not saying you go killing yourself. I just expect you to take 7 roles, and I'm just going to state them. Be a supervisor as they are playing. Just be there for when they need you. That is the role of a supervisor. Be a mediator. That is, when they need to bring into harmony their individual differences, be there for them. Be a protector. That is, when some may be suffering from low concept, help the rest to see those people positively. 3, be a counselor. Show them why they should do what they are doing. Otherwise, when it makes meaning to them, they will feel good to go on with it. And that is play. Be an observer. Don't just be indifferent. Be a non-looker. That is, see what they are doing and be with them mentally. That way, you are able to scaffold, to bring in whatever contribution that should to promote their play. Be a model. What you can do, show them. They model from you. From there, you leave it to those who are catching it very fast. Then they proceed. Otherwise, let everything they are doing, as much as possible, be the planner and the organizer. Especially where to play. You may not very limit a lot of the organization for the activities for them, but with the organization, we are saying you are giving them the direction. And when you are just articulate on their interests and what should happen, you'll become relevant to them. And that is when you are going to realize you may be a teacher whom they have labeled. 1, either mwalimu bora au bora mwalimu. Thank you. That is Mount Kenya University. That is how we do it. In the best way, we appreciate the way you have always held us high, esteemed us, and more so, working with us. Bye-bye.